And welcome to another episode of the Quantum Paradigm Podcast. We are here in the in-between. Today I'm recording this on December 30th. So it's kind of like we're in the in-between stage of 2024 and 2025. 25 starts on Wednesday. This is a pivotal moment. You guys know that I follow the astrological calendar more closely than I do the actual Gregorian calendar that we use. But it's really interesting that today is the day of the new moon in Capricorn, and that's a very New Year's-ish kind of energy to be actually starting the new year with. So it's not just any old new year. Like this cusp, this precipice is really unique, and I think we can all feel it in the air. It's hi, we have some people joining live. This new year is just it's not any old new year. And if you are intuitive, if you're in tune and you're in touch, then you already know this. So happy new year whenever you are catching this episode. But today we are going to talk about a muscle that you need to strengthen if you want your business to not only survive 2025, but to thrive. You guys know that I've been a martial artist for going on 10 years now. I've also dipped my toe in amateur bodybuilding. I love working out. I love working muscles. I could actually talk to you all day about working actual muscles, but today we're using that term metaphorically. We are not using it literally, but there is something that you really must have as a business owner, as a leader, and especially if you're wanting to make waves in your industry, which most of the people in my aura, in my field, are wanting to do. So if you're wanting to lead, we're basically talking about leadership. This is a muscle that you need, and that is really having your back, whether anyone else does or not. Okay, so last week we talked about how human design really 10x's your results because it's not magic, but because we talked about this skill set that you need as a leader, as a CEO, and how human design really makes that skill set so much easier. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go back a week and listen, because I talk about my client results all the time, which I just have another one that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Oh my God, it's blowing me away. But when I share some results like that, like, oh yeah, let's just manifest a private jet out of thin air in 12 days. Okay. Like results like that. It sounds like it's too good to be true, or it sounds like some voodoo magic. It's neither one of those. It's really aligned, very, very quick and efficient decision making over and over and over and over, and knowing exactly when to move, who to speak to, when not to, when to stay still, all of those things. It's how to maneuver in the quantum field from a place of complete empowerment. So that's last week's episode. This week's episode, I want to talk about when the going gets tough. Okay, if you've been in business longer than 2 days, you know that this is a muscle that you need to develop, and that is having your own back. When you make decisions as a leader, you may have people around you who are supporting you and cheering you on. I hope that you do. Every successful person out there has had someone in their corner helping them. None of us get to success alone. Nobody. Okay, so for those hyper independent individuals, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular. If you're here live, you can see that I'm pointing fingers at myself. I will never be harsh with my audience if I'm not really calling myself to task first. But if you are hyper independent and you've got to prove to someone that you can do it on your own, I'm just telling you, you're wasting time, you're wasting money, you're wasting your energy. Just stop. Everyone gets to success with other people cheering them on and believing in them. And if you are growing and scaling large enough and fast enough, you will come to a point where you may have decisions that you've made as a leader, as a CEO. And if you are innovating, then you may be the only one with a vision. The people around you may not be able to see it quite yet, because it's your job to lead them. Even if it's your team, it's your job to lead your team into the vision, to hold the vision and put it up in front of them so that they can follow you in it and hold it with you. But who did it come to first, right? It came to you first, okay? In 2024, I made some big decisions in my business. And I have wonderful people around me. I really do. But that came with tailor crafting. I didn't just show up on the scene with a whole host of people around me. You guys know that I went through a really contentious divorce and lost my community, my religious community. Really, I started completely from scratch in 2022, like completely from scratch. Actually, even closer to 2023. It's kind of crazy how fast this has happened. But I did know what I was doing because I was following my design, and I was very aware at every turn the decisions that I was making. So I'm getting a little bit off of a tangent. However, my point is, I didn't show up with decades of experience in corporate, which could be very helpful when you start playing the bigger game, which I've started playing. That corporate experience would have been helpful. I didn't have that. That's fine. I don't have a spouse or a partner supporting me. I don't, and that's fine. But a lot of people who have gotten, especially women, a lot of successful women, they get there with these other added support structures. I don't have those, and that's by design. I don't particularly enjoy it that way. However, like I know that I manifested this. I've manifested my reality, right? We are all the creators of our reality 24/7. So I know that I've manifested it this way to really embody the lesson that I'm bringing to you today. And that is, do you have your back first, middle, and last, regardless of who else is there or not there? We've just gone through the holiday season, and actually more of the people that I've spoken to rather than less have had some difficulties around, missing family members and not feeling, quite so jovial, just because life is life and life gets messy. And so if you find yourself in that place where you feel like there's no one else there, do you have your back in your business, in your purpose? If you are a healer, you've got clients and patients that you're responsible with guiding, right, to their health and their wholeness. Do you have your back first, right? So when you are making decisions, and if you're owning a business, you're making decisions every single day, right? And particularly if you are making a decision about something that is new and you're outside of your comfort zone. Number one, congratulations, because that means that you're growing. Number two, if you're uncomfortable, congratulations again. That means that you're growing, right? But what happens when it gets really sticky, where it gets really tough, where the 3D circumstances are looking like, I don't know if this is going to work out? That is when you manifest, okay, with awareness. That's when you manifest on purpose what you want to see happen, okay? That's where you have to get really good at kind of divorcing your brain from attaching to the 3D circumstances. Because if we are attached to what is coming to us through the 3D, if we're saying, oh, I don't know, let's say that you had a really warm lead that you thought was going to be your perfect ideal client, and something fell through at the very end and it didn't go through, and you're super bummed, like you were really, really looking forward to that. If you can attach to, oh my God, that didn't work out. That didn't work out the way that I wanted to. Do I really even know what I'm doing? Who do I think that I am? I mean, this is a voice of imposter syndrome, right? And if you, Christina's saying, I totally needed this right now. I'm so glad that this is serving, right? Like, we've all been here. And if you haven't been here, just hang in the game a little bit longer. You're going to get here if you keep growing. This is the deep work of what it is to be a leader, right? And so back to the example, say that a client that you were looking forward to working with, it falls through at the last minute, like shit, right? No, that's not what we want. But the 3D reality is right there in your face. Okay, now move through that as quickly and gently as you can. You can acknowledge, right? Definitely acknowledge. I'm not here about, to emotionally bypass anything. That particular scenario, that sucks, right? Like, okay, that sucks. And we're not going to manifest from the attaching to that place. Because if we do, guess what we're doing? We're bringing that past experience into the present. All we have is the present. All we have is the present. Okay. So if you want to get really, really good at manifesting, this sounds ridiculous. What I'm about to say sounds ridiculous. If you want to get really, really good at manifesting, get really, really good at being in Delulu land. Delusional, like detachment from your 3D circumstances. If you want to change your 3D circumstances, if you're sitting here and you're like, nope, I'm fine. I love my 3D circumstances. Everything is fine. I've got all the money that I want. I have all the impact and the positive influence in the world that I want. I have all of the love and harmonious relationships with my friends, family, and lover that I want. Then congratulations. And are you really growing? Okay. If there's not some sort of dissatisfaction somewhere in your reality, I wonder if you are growing, right? So please be gentle with yourself and acknowledge if you are feeling dissatisfied with something, that's because there's this timeline that's calling you from your higher dimension saying like, I'm called to this. I'm called to this higher, this better result. I want more. Particularly if you are a female listening to this, you have been conditioned that you shouldn't want more. I am here to tell you that is bullshit. I am sick to death of being told that we need to be more grateful. I am grateful. And so are my clients, and so are the people in my audience. We have good hearts. We're good people. We love our people, and we serve our people with integrity and with joy, right? This isn't about gratitude. This is about having a higher calling and wanting to live as fully into that in this lifetime as humanly fucking possible. The F-bomb got in the way. I'm getting so passionate about this. Like, it's not about not being grateful, right? As we look back to 2024, wow, the amount of growth that I personally experienced, that my clients experienced, oh my God. Am I grateful? Yes. Am I humbled? Absolutely. And do I want more? Yes, I do. I came to this world hungry. I've always wanted to succeed, right? We are ambitious people. And when you have a purpose and you have a mission and you have a calling, you're going to have ambition. That's sacred. Like, honor that, right? So when you say yes to things that are like, whoa, that's a big stretch for my business. That's a stretch for my team. That's a stretch for me personally. When the rubber hits the road, are you going to have your back? Right? Are you going to have your back? I bit off something so big in 2024. I didn't know if I was going to be able to chew it, except I did know. And I told my team, I was like, this is big. This is a big leap. This is a big jump. We've got this. And then the rubber hit the road. And it was like the 3D circumstances were like, oh God, Allison, like, what have you done? Do you know what I did? I followed my sacral authority in human design. I made an aligned decision, and I showed up in that energy every single day with that decision in perfect and beautiful devotion and growth. So when you make those decisions that are in the growth edge, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to perhaps trigger other people around you. Even the people that have had your back up until that point. They may get scared. They may get nervous. They may be like, oh my God, what's this person doing? I tell you what though, if you have your back, first and foremost, not only will you start manifesting the results that you desire, but you will help those around you grow and develop their own muscles as well. So my question to you is this. If things have been wonky lately, and we have some funky astro weather this week, so we could be in for a couple of days of like, oh shit moments. When those come, ask yourself, do I have my back? And if you don't, that's not your fault. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. So if you feel like you can't answer with a full body yes, I've got my back, I've got this, then ask yourself, where in my life was I let down by somebody that was supposed to be there for me? This is deep stuff, guys. This is the deep work that a true leader must work through and embody and release. So you may need to go cry in the shower, do some EFT tapping, shake your body, do some yoga, incorporate your body and your breath in this question, in this inquiry. Where have you been let down by someone in your life who was supposed to be there for you? We've all got a story. We all do, right? So as you lean into that, get into this inquiry with gentleness, with compassion, and then remind yourself that you are the person who can show up for you, whether anybody else around you does or doesn't. It's nice to have the external support. It is, but it starts with you. Leaders go first is something that one of my previous coaches used to say. Leaders go first. Okay, so if you have big plans, dreams, thoughts, and wishes for your calling, for your mission, for 2025, for your family, I don't care if you're leading yourself and your kiddo, or if you're leading your entire region, it doesn't matter. If you are in a point of leadership, if that's something that you've agreed to do, and you have big visions for 2025, then ask yourself, do you have your back? And if not, where did that come from? And how can you move through that as quickly and compassionately as possible so that you can get on the other side of that and manifest the biggest badassery we've ever seen yet, right? Like 2025 is a big year. The people, the astrologers, the intuitives, we're all like looking at this year like, okay, like buckle up. If you haven't buckled up yet, whoa, like, sorry, get ready. But moving from a place of integrity and really having your own back and being able to trust yourself so deeply that it does not matter what the 3D is showing you in the moment, because you know that it can change in a heartbeat, in an instant. I mean, I could sit here and tell you stories day after day, like about manifesting crazy, crazy things overnight in 20 minutes, just, yeah, which brings me to the client that I wanted to share with you. She hired me a couple months ago to manifest a very specific client relationship for her. I'm not going to get into the details because this ideal client of hers is world famous. However, I was like, okay, do you have connections with that person? She's like, nope, not at all. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't either. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what's in the 3D, because with alignment, with specific and repeated processes that do incorporate the human design chart and the transits, and yes, some sales and marketing strategy mixed in, absolutely, of course, and with leadership, with all of these mixed into the formula that I call quantum manifestation, I was like, this won't even take us 6 months. Well, she just messaged me a couple days ago. She was like, guess who I'm talking to privately? I'm like, oh my God, that person's manager. She's like, yep. So like these things, nothing is out of reach. I want you to hear me. Nothing is out of reach for you for 2025. I don't care what the 3D circumstances are looking like right now. You stay in a vibration that you choose. And if your brain needs to believe that you're delusional for breaking up with the 3D circumstances, then let it think that you're delusional. That's just your ego mind throwing a little bit of a fit. We love the ego. It's okay to throw a fit a little bit here and there. Just stick with this vibration. Anything is possible for you in 2025. Nothing is without reach. If you are looking for a wonderful way to start off your year, I am actually running a sale on Unleash Your Inner Magician. It's the 22-day manifestation challenge, and it takes you to your human design chart, and it gives you journal prompts 5 days out of the week for 3 weeks so that you can track your manifestations. You can track your intentions. There is literally no better time of the year then today, on the new moon in Capricorn on December 30th, or about up to 48 hours after even, because I actually believe that the most potent, powerful days to manifest are within about 24 to 48 hours after the new moon, when you've got that little sliver of light coming from the moon to the earth. Anyway, it's a perfect time to grab the Unleash Your Inner Magician Challenge. DM me on Instagram. It's at Alchemy with Allison. And it will be in the show notes of the podcast. But the sale is running, I think, through January 5th. You need the code, which is Unleash 2025. All caps, no spaces. Unleash 2025. If you don't see the link somewhere, get in touch with me on Instagram. I'm really easy to reach, and I check my DMs every day. Which brings me to the next thing that I'm so excited to share, which is the Reset Retreat in Costa Rica, where healers ignite for global impact. The dates for this are May 30th to June 4th. There are still spots available. If you are a business owner and you are looking for a last minute tax write-off for 2024, you've got 2 days. You've got December 30th and 31st to claim a spot and write it off on your taxes, because this is going to easily qualify as a business trip, because the intention is to equip you as a leader, as a healer, to be the most resource abundant human possible for not just 2025, but during that week, we're going to be setting the intention for 3 to 5 years. We're going to achieve more in 1 week than you can achieve on your own in a year. And that's because we are bringing a really specific coherence in person. The types of people that are coming to this event are incredible. And it's not going to be super workshopy. We're going to have lots of time and space in nature. Costa Rica is medicine on its own. It's not going to be like medicine ceremonies. It's a sober campus, but it's like medicine on its own. I've traveled the world. I've told you guys before, I've been everywhere. And this land is very, very special and very specific for what we are intending to achieve together. So that information is also in the show notes. It's also in my bio on Instagram at Alchemy with Allison. If you grab your spot within the next 48 hours, it's a pretty significant tax write-off for the business, which is just really sweet. And you guys know I have a thing for private jets. There's a private jet involved. There's all-inclusive. Once you land in San Jose in Costa Rica, everything after that is included, from the meals to the private charter jet service to the campus, to the ground transportation. Anytime that you want to go to the beach, it's about a 10-minute drive. You just let someone know and they come and pick you up and they take you. Like, it is paradise. 5 nights in paradise. And I think it's only 4 days out of the office that you need to take. Anyway, I'm getting into the weeds. All the details will be in the bio at Alchemy with Allison or in the show notes. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging in with me. I know that I go on rambles and rants sometimes, but when I do, I get feedback from people that it's like the thing that they really needed to hear. So I hope that flexing this muscle, like, do you have your back, right? Like, do you have it? And if you feel like you don't, reach out to me in the DMs. Like, I'll chat with you. Like, having people in your sphere who've got your back, that's one of the best things to help. This goes deeper than confidence. I was going to say it's one of the best things to help with your confidence. This is way deeper than confidence. This is like confidence 4.0, because you're making big decisions. You're standing by them. You're not giving up on your dream or your business. So this goes way beyond confidence. Confidence is just like believing you can do something. What I'm talking about is fucking knowing. That's what I'm talking about. So if you need some extra support on that, reach out to me. We'll chat in the DMs. I will be here again, same time, same place next week. I love you so much. Happy New Year.